Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. This week, it is all about what happened at Divisionals, with plenty of close games and teams punching their ticket to the state tournament. So let's get into this week's highlights that you might have missed. My game of the week was a matchup that took 2 overtimes to decide a winner, and in the end, Frenchtown came out on top over the Bigfork Vikings. Cooper McCott's putback gave Frenchtown the lead for good in the second overtime, and the Broncs eventually beat Bigfork 60-59 in an important loser-out game at Columbia Falls High School. The win clinched a berth into the state tournament for Frenchtown, and Bigfork came up just short. Bigfork led 47-45 on Alex Uck's three-point play with 1:09 left in regulation. Hank Smith, who had 22 points for Frenchtown, hit a 15-footer moments later that set up the first overtime. Austin Savick had a game-high 23 points, making 5 three-pointers for Bigfork, which ended up their season 9-14. Tamara Savick added 14 points, and Alex Uch finished with 12 points for the Vikings. It was a tough loss and a tough end of the season for Bigfork. The Valkyries won their Thursday matchup against Butte Central 51-24 before dropping a game to Dillon, who was the eventual winner of the Divisionals 57-49. This all set up a crucial game between Bigfork and Columbia Falls. Kenny Wade led Bigfork with 18 points, including 5 three-pointers, as the Valkyries jumped out to a 12-0 lead after the first quarter and beat rival Columbia Falls 52-32. The good news for the Wildcats is they played well enough in the tournament to finish as a number 4 seed, so the loss only affected their seeding, but they did punch their ticket to state as well. Annika Lawrence helped Columbia Falls score the first 6 points of the second quarter, and Kira Kampanen led the Wildcats with 9 points. Peyton Gunlock finished with 15 points, and Sister Braden added 11 for Bigfork, who finished as the number 3 seed in the West and are returning to state for the 4th straight season, their 2nd straight season as a Class A team. On the boys' side for Columbia Falls, they picked up a win on Thursday over Butte Central 64-51 before losing to Dillon, who also won on the boys' side Friday 62-41. This set up another crucial game against Ronan, where the Wildcats lost a heartbreaker 55-54. Jet McDonald poured in all 14 of his points in Ronan's fourth quarter comeback, which was capped when Chad Higgins rebounded a miss by Tayan Edmo and scored with 16.6 seconds left to clinch a state berth. Columbia Falls had 2 final shots at the win, a Reggie Sapa three-pointer and a follow-up shot from Grady Hutton, but both hit back iron and fell away. Easton Brooks had 11 points for the Wildcats, who, after taking a 16-13 lead at the end of the first quarter, didn't trail again until Higgins' final putback. Cooper Ross added 10 points off the bench for Columbia Falls, which ended their season with a 16-5 record. Tough loss for that team. Ronan lost another tough matchup in a classic game on Thursday against Frenchtown, where the Broncs pulled off the win in overtime 64-62, but on Saturday they got their revenge. Lawrence Lozo scored 18 points, Tayan Edmo added another 17, and Ronan claimed third place over Frenchtown. Lozo hit an early dagger three-pointer in the fourth quarter as he put Ronan up 60-42. The Chiefs knocked down 10 shots from beyond the arc. Browning boys came into the tournament as the number 1 seed and will advance to state, but the Browning girls unfortunately did not. The boys won their matchup on Thursday over Hamilton 51-41 behind Jude Revis' 19 points. Revis once again led Browning to another win on Friday, scoring 16 points in a 64-47 win over Frenchtown, and that was the win that punched their ticket to state. In Saturday's matchup with Dillon for the Western A crown, Dillon outlasted Browning 63-48. The Indians came out hot with the trio of early three-pointers, 2 from Jude Rivas, and 1 from Roy Madplume to take a 15-4 advantage, but then Browning went cold. A 19-2 run for the Beavers put them ahead 25-17. Rivas kept the Indians in it with a pair of big triples to cut the gap to 30-26 at intermission. The Beavers came out the break hot and quickly pushed the lead to double digits to 37-26, and then they never looked back. There was a ton of games at Divisional, so this was just a quick recap. So be sure you go to the sports section at the Daily Interlake to get full recaps from all the games from the 3-day tournament. There was a lot of great games, and these are just highlighting the winners and the teams that advanced to state. Now, before we wrap this episode up, let's give you a quick preview of the state matchups this week and what local teams are still alive. On Thursday, the Ronan boys, who finished 16-6, will take on 16-5 Billings Central at noon. Later on Thursday at 6:30 p.m., Browning at 14-6 will face off with 18-4 Glendive. On the girls' side, 19-3 Bigfork will kick things off early Thursday morning with the 9 a.m. matchup against 18-3 Havre. 12-10 Columbia Falls will have a matchup with the undefeated Billings Central team at 5 p.m. That is going to wrap up this special Divisionals episode of the Keeping Score podcast. Good luck to all those teams advancing in state, and congratulations to all the team who reached Divisionals on another great season. I want to thank our sponsor, Corwin Motors, all of you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week on another episode of the Keeping Score podcast. I am Josh Amick. We'll see you all next week. Take care.
A fire that broke out on a cold and dark February morning in 2024 sent the small northwest Montana town of Noxon reeling. Beginning in the Angry Beaver General Store on Noxon Avenue, the conflagration would eventually claim a neighboring restaurant and a storied bar. The town had lost 3/4 of its business community by the day's end. 7 months after the fire, people were still wondering, will Noxon recover? Can it mount a comeback? What will rise from the ashes?
Stream Season 3 of the Daily Interlakes Deep Dive podcast on your favorite audio platform, or catch the 2-part series on our YouTube channel.